You see, for instance, for FP6, in the area of nutrition of infants, children, adolescents, nutritional need for aging population, obesity, well, there is a substantial amount of money which have been already going in. We're talking about 63 million euros. In currently FP7, for the obesity area, the behavior needs, we have 18 million in the last 2 calls. This just to give you how much we're investing at the European level. You look at other main direction, communication and prevention of diet diseases disorders. And you see that, for instance, in FP6, where we're dealing with allergies, celiac disease, a total budget of 33 million euros were spent. We have now 9 million for the first 2 calls. We go in food for humans, new tools and concepts in nutrition science. How do we support innovation? 74 million for new tools for nutrition science. And you see the nutrigenomics. There is a big network of excellence. We also have nutrient recommendation, dietary assessment. These are giving you acronyms of ongoing funded European research projects. We continue on the supporting of innovation in nutrition and science. You see new tools for nutrition and science, system biology, diet foods on compounds, and we have this in FP7, 32 million euros. But then, as I said, the role of industry in all this investment becomes more and more important. We recall myself, that this is the largest manufacturing sector in the EU, but it's composed of 99% of SMEs. And we still see that a large share of the production is still with traditional and local food. So we need to look at these aspects. We need to see how this advanced traditional food, which is here, how this is basically going to move forward. There are also typical products, new products 11%. So is there room for innovation? Well, and when we see the room for innovation, we basically have to ask how much is spent for research. And figures, unfortunately, are not as big as we would like to have. And this is, again, something which needs to be tackled, and I'm sure that these aspects are being tackled in the food technology, European food technology platform, as well as in the national platforms. But why do we need to do that? We actually are, with our competitors, and below in terms of investments in research. You might remember that this famous 3%, so-called the Barcelona objectives, so actually arriving to invest 3% of the national gross product, domestic product, in research. Well, this, let's say, commitment has generated a lot of expectations, but also generated a lot of, I would say, good investments. We are not there. Of course, we are not at 3%, but we are close enough. If that type of commitment would not have been there, we would have still today see each other's below the levels of year 2000. So there is that commitment. We see that progress. We see also more commitment from the industry. And I think that this is, something that cannot be built in one day, of course, also looking at the economic situation of today. But nevertheless, the good movement, the virtuous movements are in place. And here comes the food technology platform, Food for Life. I think this is also something that, a few years ago, we would not have been here discussing about, and now it's reality. It's reality in more than 35, if I'm not wrong, countries. They are very active. They're all seeking new ways of working between academia and industry. They're moving away from the traditional, let's say, funding instruments. They're also looking at the ways on how to attract investments from other funds, like the structural funds. And this, all in all, it's, in a way, there to promote innovation. But then when we look at the drivers for promoting innovation, and this is, again, one thing that I was looking a couple of weeks ago at CIAL, this French, which is an international trade show, they had a pavilion on innovation. And I went to look there, and I found the same, let's say, patterns I'm showing here. Health is the main driver. Convenience is in the background. It's not as increasing as you would imagine. Pleasure is an important driver together with health. But one rising, and I like this is something that we should all think about how to deal, is ethics. Somebody said that people are voting while they are shopping in the groceries in the supermarket. And I think it's true, because they can decide whether to buy or not that products, also because of ethical beliefs, also for other purposes, how the way it has been environmental friendly or not. So again, as I said, those who have said that people vote and participate more in casting their ballot when they go every day to the supermarket, I think it's a reality. How do we take that into account? And it's a challenge for the industry. But it's also a way for the research community to provide that sort of solutions in case they are requested. But we also see some obstacles. And of course, there are obstacles that need to be tackled. It's true that there is an excess administrative burden, and for this reason, the Commission has established the better regulation, reducing 25% this administrative burden. We also have reduced the administrative burden, so-called red tape, for the access of SMEs to the Framework Program 7, and also increased the amount of support that now the SMEs can receive. In FP6, SMEs were only allowed to receive maximum 50% for research. We are now at 75%. For demonstration, which is rather important for SMEs, the amount of money that the SMEs they could have received in FP6 was up to 25%. We are now at 50%. SMEs, and this is an important aspect, as you will see, can also receive in project 100% for training, because training is an important aspect. And you will see that, training remains also the most efficient technology transfer methods. Technology platforms, they need to look at these aspects. How do they improve the needs and respond to the needs of more efficient technology transfers in terms, for instance, of training, networking, demonstration, and so on. These are the result of a recent project financed by FP6. Conclusions. So, research and development support sustainable economic growth. We see that, we can't get out of the economic context. We need to be in the economic context. We need to look at the development of more global aspects. And when we look at the global aspects, we need to look at our industry reputation. Because, basically when you deal in a global market, you need to deal with true excellent reputation. And then also look at the environmental aspects. I said before, sustainability. The European framework programs, they try to promote excellence, but as well as innovation, and this through partnership. Through partnerships, but also promoting, as I said, these cross-border relationships, not only geographically, not only addressing subcriticality in the institutional environment, but also trying to connect disciplines. It's not easy. It's sometimes putting two electric fields with the same sign together. So again, who manages to do that maybe can get a Nobel Prize. And finally, I would say the stronger involvement of the industry is crucial. We can't go away from the supporting the sustainable economic environment if the industry is not there, and tackling together the contemporary research needs